Yo, yo, yo. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. All right. This is what I was saying. Here we go. I'm gonna wait for some people to come in. So yeah, y'all could nobody even hear me. I see now what the problem was. It, eh, anyway, see if some people come back in. The Raiders, they they made the Fernando pick. They traded out of 36, went back to 38 or whatever it is, and then reached for trading Stooks. Look, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. He First of all, they drafted him and it says safety by his name. And I'm tripping because he was a corner and all the prospect stuff that I saw, he was playing corner. So now the Raiders is on some like they smarter than everybody else type of one of them type of picks. I hate those type of picks, man. Um yeah, this dude, he was the eighth best corner, the 51st rated prospect. 7 guys ahead of him. I don't know. Everybody, something is up with your mom, McCoy. Anybody know what's up? Is something going on with your mom, McCoy, that I don't know about? Because he was supposed to been gone. But anyway, they got this guy 6 feet and a half, 190. It says safety when they drafted him. He was a corner as a prospect. He was the seventh best corner. He's not even on the safety list, and they draft him as the third safety off the board in front of EMAC, my boy Emmanuel McNeil Warren. They tripped, man. They tripped. I don't like this pick. We gonna see what type of career this dude end up having, and if I'm wrong or whatever. But this wasn't a good pick, man. They reached for this dude. Um, they should have went McNeil Warren right here. I told you guys they were thinking safety. Remember, I told you. I just said it. I don't even know if I put that video on or not, but I knew they was thinking safety because when remember on the press conference when the assistant GM Brian Starks, what up, getting another surgery? What you talking about? Anyway, when Starks was talking, they asked him, "Is there any position group that is sweet?" You know what I'm saying? Any position group that you like, and he started like smiling immediately, and then he asked, "No, no." Then Spytech just looked at him and was like, "You go ahead and answer." And then he was like, "Safety." So I knew that they was gonna get a safety, but this dude is not the safety they should have got, bro. They should have got McNeil Warren. Who agrees? Who agrees with this pick? Who in Raider Nation agrees with the Traden Stooks pick? They could have even got McCoy. It's something up with McCoy. That's what I'm saying. It's something up with him because he's still sitting there right now. The third round is over. He's still there. This dude was the 23rd ranked prospect. This guy, as a corner, was supposed to be the second best after Delane, right? Who went first to the Chiefs. I ain't gonna say he went first overall, but he's the first corner, right? And then they started to just pick all around him: Johnson, Terrell, even Pons, Cisse. The dude Stooks got picked by the Raiders as a safety. And I know the Raiders is like on some of that, you know, trying to be smarter than everybody, and I hate them type of picks right there. Oh, we're gonna play him. He's versatile. Oh, he got to get another surgery. That's what you were saying. Okay, that's what it is then. That's what it is because he should have been gone. And you know, I I don't want to draft guys that are hurt. All right, good looking, Mo. Um, yeah, I wouldn't want to get any hurt guys like how we got Tyree Wilson. So I'm done with doing that. If you hurt, man, go get healthy and come back and go in the draft again or whatever. Whoever drafts you, just I don't want the Raiders touching guys like that anymore. Pause. But yeah, all that drafting guys injured is okay. So you take McCoy off. Um, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. If they wanted a safety, they should have got a legitimate safety, not some guy that's gonna come play safety in the league, but he's playing corner in college. Come on, man. Damn. Don't do stuff like that. Just be basic. You don't have to you don't have to try to make no hell of a moves where you guys looking like you smarter than everybody, man. Just make the basic pick. Should have picked Emmanuel McNeil Warren here. Period. I don't care what nobody say. At 38 or whatever it was they traded back to after they traded with Houston. 39. What was it? Let me see. So they went they traded back to 38 and picked up a pick and got this kid. I just it was a reach for me. At 38, Emmanuel McNeil Warren was still there. That was a no brainer, bro. Should you wanted a safety? That was your safety. You should have got. We're gonna see these two dudes' careers how they turn out. All right, the next one, Ron Crawford in the third round, pick number 67. I initially was like they reached. Then after I did some independent research, like my man say on Instagram, the movie dude. But yeah, I did a little more research, and his deal was different. You could look at it and be like, "Oh, they reached," but on the surface. But if you look into it a little more, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? As far as the ranking of edge rushers, right? By the time the Raiders were selecting at pick 67, 11 of those dudes was gone. Right? 11 of those dudes are gone. So if it was 14 ahead of them, that's mean it was three dudes. So and we counted Arvell Reese in this too. So that's why. Really is Bailey. You start at Bailey and then gonna have we counted Reese. If we just start at Bailey as the edge, the first edge rusher to get taken is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, man, taking it from them, right? So all 12, no, 11 of those guys were gone. 10 of those spots I just named were all taken up. So that left Danny Dennis Sutton, Romello Height, and then Keyron Crawford, right? Those three guys left. And all right, Danny Dennis Sutton, 6'5.5", 256. Romello Height, 6'3", 239. Keyron Crawford, 6'4.5", 253. Um, this just came down to so these guys were all within 8 ranks of each other of the total prospect list, and they were the next 3 edge rushers, in order, right? Danny Dennis Sutton, Height, and then Crawford. That was the next three guys. The Raiders did not take Height, and they didn't take Sutton. I believe they just had a higher ranking or rating for Crawford than they did for Height and Sutton, which is not a reach. That's just a little bit different of a difference of opinion on a guy, right? Emmanuel McNeil Warren pick not picking him and picking the trading Stooks guy was a reach because dude wasn't even a safety on the prospect list. So how is he the third best safety? So you jump up to take a guy that wasn't even on the safety list as a prospect. He was a corner. And at the corner, he was like fifth, sixth best. We take Cook McCoy out, he was the fifth best one, right? And you drafted him at 38. This is too high. It's just too high, man. If you wanted a safety, should have got McNeil Warren right there. He shouldn't even been there in the mock drafts. He was gone in the first round a lot of the times. A few, about half and half. He was available at the top of the second round, like he was, and he's there for you guys to take him, man. And you didn't. You took this dude Stooks. And I'm not downrating Stooks. I'm not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not downrating Stooks. I'm just saying I wanted McNeil Warren. Y'all saw me the videos. If you don't, go to my channel. Check me out. I was all over the guy. Pause. But they should have drafted him. They jumped, they reached for a guy that wasn't even on the prospect list as a safety, and they pick him up as a safety. So anyway, that was a reach. Um, and then even though I said they should get Trey Zoom, right? I did that in a video. Go check it out. Go check it out if you think I'm bull jiving. My people know. People that mess with me, they know that it's real. Um, yeah, man. They reached for him too. Now the trip thing about it was Cowboys picked Jay Barham right after that. Jay Barham was supposed to go like in the 130 something or whatever. So they jumped in and picked him at like 93 or whatever, which was that was a good no, nah, they right after we picked oh boy. No, no, no. He was the next edge taken. So yeah, they took Jay Barham, which we should have took him. He was gonna pick somebody early, it should have been him. Nah, seriously. If you know what I'm saying? If you was gonna reach for somebody, quote unquote, it should have been Barham, and the dude that had a lot more upside, was out there knocking snot bubbles out of guys' nose. You know what I'm saying? University of Michigan, but no, they reached for the Auburn player, the corner. I'm just not. I mean, Arizona. I said Auburn, Arizona. I'm just not. No disrespect to Stooks. Stooks, I ain't disrespecting you. Welcome to the Raiders, my guy. Hopefully you have a great career with us. I was just thinking, that pick should have been Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. Uh, Quinyon Mitchell, that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, should have made everybody feel at ease with drafting DBs from Toledo, right? This guy just came in and was an all pro, right? So we could have just got the safety that just played with him a couple years ago. But no, what do? We reach for a guy. Anyway, man, I'm off that. I was on Zoom. Zoom should have been available in the fourth round. He would have been available in the fourth round, I believe. There was a bit of a run on tackles. They said they expected that. Uh, so yeah, it was a little bit of a run on tackles, and I feel him for not wanting to be left out in the cold on a guy, on a lineman. Um, I said it was a rush on tackles. It was a rush on linemen. period. This guy is most likely not going to play tackle in the league. I believe in the bio for him it says center or interior O lineman for sure. This shows me for sure though that they're not willing to risk going into the season or the future with JPJ and his concussions. So this guy looks like to be, a guy that's going to challenge that right there. And if JPJ does claim the starting role at one of the guards, then this guy will be, you know, right there if he gets injured, and then JPJ may not even get his job back. Or they may say, you know what, man, because of your history, JPJ, even though we select you with the 44th pick and you're making a decent amount of money, um, we're gonna use you as the swing guard because of your concussion history. So we will, we're gonna use you as needed instead of having you be the starter and then have to insert guys and fix the starting five if you go down with a concussion, which you have done every the first 2 years that you've been here. You did that. That has happened, which was the knock on you in the draft, and it has come to be true. So there were some teams that didn't even put you on their draft board because of the concussions, and we see why. No disrespect, but it is what it is, man. The concussions. So maybe they drafted Zoom to start. They're gonna start Caleb and start Linderbaum. Keep Glaze out there, put a tight end with him, and you got Miller, and then you got Charles Grant um, as a swing tackle. Maybe they still gonna get a tackle. Maybe Trey Burke still, right? Trey Burke, Trey Burke's still out there, and the Raiders are still picking. So maybe tomorrow you might see him getting a tackle. And now you talking about having solid backups across the board. A solid five, some solid backups, somebody to push DJ Glaze, somebody to push JPJ either out or in to the lineup. So, you know, maybe one more lineman will be drafted tomorrow, but I feel like they reached for Zoom. At this pick right here, this could have been a D tackle, which I guess they don't agree with everybody else on how bad they need a defensive tackle. Guess they believe in these guys that they drafted last year. Um, Pegues, Hemingway. You got Tyree Wilson in there, Jonah in there, Luwalu, uh, Adam Beasley, of course. Adam's getting a little up there though. Um, Snowman, you brought the Snowman back, but I'm talking about some, immovable object type guys. I just don't think we have that. And let's see who's still available. Remember, I had talked about uh, Daryl Jackson Jr. Remember from Florida State. I think he is still available. Let's see where he's at. Let's see where they at with the deep tackle. Yep, he's sitting right there. Yep, he's sitting right there, man. He's sitting right there. And the Raiders, he's sitting right there, man. Let's go back to the drive. Round four. Let's see what it looks like. Raiders are sitting there with the second pick in the fourth round. Raiders are sitting there with the second pick in the fourth round, and Daryl Jackson is sitting right there, right? So spy tech, it looks like it's gonna line up right for you, man. You had they had him at 98th overall. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven tackles before him. Grayson Halton is still there too from uh Oklahoma, but we want a big body guy in there, man. We want a Daryl Jackson 6'5.5", 315. We need somebody that's a full load in there, man. Pause. Um, Caleb Proctor is a interesting prospect, and I know later on in the draft, practice possibly in the late fourth, so the Raiders would have the 117 and I think 134 still to come, and they pause. That's another pause. And Daryl Jackson Jr. Uh, if just say they go in another direction, they could get Rayshawn Benny from Michigan. So there's a couple. I wouldn't be mad at. I really don't want to see Grayson Allen. Only reason he's just a little. You know what, man? I wouldn't be mad at Grayson Allen. I ain't gonna be mad. 6'2.5", 293. He's probably strong as all outdoors. They got him at the 79 rated prospect. That's nearly 20 rankings above Daryl Jackson Jr. So honestly, with this next pick in this round, if they get Halton or Jackson, I wouldn't be mad. So you heard it right here. Raider Ragu. I'm saying Grayson Halton from Oklahoma tomorrow. Um, I wouldn't be mad if they went in that direction, but also Daryl Jackson Jr., Florida State D tackle, wouldn't be mad at if they went in that direction as well. So they would have the safety, QB, the edge guy slash linebacker. That's the linebacker that people were saying they needed. So now we're looking for a receiver, a D tackle, and an offensive tackle tomorrow. A receiver, a D tackle, and an offensive tackle tomorrow. That's what we're looking for. So 102. I think let's see. Let's look at the draft order again. Changed. See if these guys changed with the trades. Fourth round. Raiders got 102. They got 117. They got 134. These got to be three good guys. 102, 117, 134. See, I feel like Trey Zone could have been 134. He for sure could have been 117. I feel like they reached. I wanted them to get Zoom, but maybe they knew some, that I don't about some another team wanting to pick Zoom before that. But they picked him hella early. They got him at. Let me see. I was wondering what happened there. Said I was doing a little bit. I didn't get to see the. Yeah, they stayed pat at 67. They really picked here at 38. So yeah, this one is not up to date. They got 102. See, they traded that 117. They ain't got that no more. And they got the 134. They got 102 tomorrow and 134. Man, but I was wrong about one of them because Barham I thought would be here. Remember, I said have to get Barham with like pick 102 or so, pick 117. He's gone already. So that was that was didn't work out. It's 67. And the Raiders got the 91st pick and took Trey Zone. Uh, yeah, got him listed as a center. Yeah, so they jumped up and got him at 91 after they made that trade with Houston and traded out of that 117th pick, and they picked up that 91st pick. So tomorrow, like I said, starting with the fourth round, 102, right? Then we're gonna work 134. We go into the fifth round. In the fifth round, this is where it's a straight gamble. It's a toss up whether the guy's gonna be able to play or not. 175. So these next two guys at 102 and 134 are crucial. And I'm saying, let's go back to who they got. So we sitting here with Fernando, Stooks, Crawford, and Zone. So we addressed interior O line, linebacker, safety and corner, and quarterback. All right, so we need a receiver and a defensive tackle. These two guys tomorrow has to be a receiver and a defensive tackle. Uh, let's see. Let's go to receivers. That's left. Elijah Sherrod. He's there. He's there, man. Let's do it. Don't f this up. Don't f this up. Spy Tech. Sherrod tomorrow. Pick 102. Period. Period ended. Elijah Sherrod. Pick 102 tomorrow. Period, man. 134. That's when we was thinking D tackle still, right? Hey man, we could get Xavier Harris, Halton, Daryl Jackson, or Benny. So that's four guys with that 134. So I want to see Elijah Surratt and either Xavier Harris, Grayson Halton, Daryl Jackson Jr., or Rayshawn Benny. Depends on who's left. And that's who I say, man. The next two. The next two. The fifth and sixth round guys, those are just crapshoots. The fifth and sixth round players from last year ain't even on the team no more. Right? And they was immediate practice squad guys. They'd be like training camp bodies. Right? It takes a real savage dude, some type of like probably defensive position player to make the team as a fifth round pick, bro. So I'm not about to get all into those, but I know that 102 has got to be Ciroc, and the 134 can be one of these four guys: Harris, Halton, Jackson, or Benny. That's where I'm at with it, man. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, man. Just win, baby.